Hello everyone, there I am again, Anton Benning, founder of FBE. And we are running into a new week today. New week, new chances. And I will continue this journey that we're on the journey of thinking and growing rich with the help of the book written by Napoleon Hill. And today I want to speak to you about the story that he writes about somebody who stopped 3 feet from gold. It was around the time of the gold rush, and this Mr. Darby and an uncle of Mr. Darby, they went to Colorado where this gold rush was going on, and they started digging at a certain place, and eventually they found some gold. So they quietly covered it all up, and after which they went back home and they gathered the financial needs. They went to family, to friends, to whoever they knew to get enough funding for all the machinery and the equipment that they needed to get the gold above the ground. And that is what they did. And afterwards they went back and they started drilling, and the gold came up and the gold came up. And after the first withdrawal of gold, it looked so promising, and a few more of those loads and all their debt would be paid off and they'd be starting to making profits. But all of a sudden, you can probably imagine what happened. The gold vein dried up, and they kept digging and they kept digging and they kept digging, and nothing. So eventually they gave up. They quit. They sold all their machinery and the equipment for a couple of $100 to a nearby junkyard. And the story tells that some junk men are fairly dumb, but not this one. He got himself some expert counsel. Do you hear that? Expert counsel of some engineer of experience or with knowledge of how the ground works around veins of gold. And this man, he made some calculations, and eventually what came out of the calculations basically stated that they stopped digging about 3 feet. So what is that? 1.5 meters, more or less, away from where the gold vein would continue, where more gold would be found. So the junk man, the man from the junkyard, he started digging with the equipment and the machinery that he got for bare to nothing, and he recouped millions and millions of dollars of gold, worth of gold from that vein. And Mr. Darby, the man who started out digging there, of course he was pretty disappointed by it. But he took his greatest lesson out of it, which is the lesson that I wish you can take out of this today as well. The lesson that he took out of it was not to quit when something sets you back. Because most people quit in the face of disappointment, in the face of defeat. And usually in the face of disappointment and the face of defeat, just one step beyond that defeat is where the success is found. And eventually he ended up, of course, paying back all the debt that he accumulated through his first venture. Because by this lesson of not quitting, he became a salesman of insurance later on. And he realized, I did quit 3 feet from gold, but I'm never going to quit trying to sell somebody on this insurance when they say no. And because of that, he was around that time, he was part of one of 50 men in the whole of the United States that actually sold more than $1 million of insurance every single year. So he did eventually take the most important, most valuable lesson out of it, that the biggest successes are achieved just one step beyond your greatest failure, just one step beyond your greatest defeat. So take that lesson today. Don't just quit because you were defeated. Don't just quit because you were set back. Persist through. So have your desire, have your faith, create your plans, and then persist until let's resolve. Now, have an awesome week. Let's not forget to live this week with passion.